Relationship struggles. Why do most people try to fix the effects but never fix the causes? So, today, relationships. Whether you're single, dating, engaged, married, can feel like the best thing in the world or the most exhausting thing ever. And if you're
True.
listening to this, chances are you probably felt both.
All right. So that could be a loaded question,
Yes, it could.
right?
Yep.
So why do most people try to fix the effects but not the cause? All right. So the reason why, when I say that could be a loaded question is because do people really want to know the answer to that? Or do they just want to be validated about what they perceive the struggles to come from or where they came from? We got to understand, guys, love isn't just about feeling good, right?
Right.
You do feel good sometimes, right? Though?
Oh, I feel good most of the time.
Okay, so love just isn't about feeling good. It's about understanding, growing, and navigating challenges together. But let's be honest,
Mhm.
right? Most people are struggling in their relationship, and they have no clue why.
All right, so let's talk about it, babe.
All right?
All right, so the top struggles couples and singles face.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing we're going to talk about that. And why these struggles happen. The real reason, not the superficial ones, the real reason, and why most couples never fix them.
Right? So, and as we're talking about these issues, there's things that will come up, right? From years. We know these things because we've experienced them from years of experience working with individuals,
Yeah.
decades of trial and error,
Come on now.
decades,
Yep.
decades of education and training once we realized that we didn't have the answer, and over 3 decades of marriage ourselves. We've seen it all, lived it all, and helped others through it all. So we say that to say this. We'll be into the conversation about struggles as Jason cues the music.
Let's get it.
Welcome to Loving Beyond the I Do podcast. This power couple is building stronger marriages one day at a time. Talking about real issues on love, relationships, and marriage longevity. Let's break down the barriers and engage in healthy conversation with your hosts, Jason and Tina Marie. Take a seat and buckle up because things are about to get real.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another Friday.
Somebody's happy.
Yes, I've been feeling really great today, and this time is no different. I was feeling a little tired.
It's been a long day.
It has.
But it's been
I've been up since 4:00.
Yes.
So, but I'm glad. I've been feeling good all day.
Yep. So
All right.
welcome to another episode of Loving Beyond the I Do podcast. We are your hosts, Jason and Tina Marie.
That's me.
And we are here to inspire and empower individuals with actionable strategies, tools, and insights for developing meaningful and fulfilling relationships using universal principles, effective communication, and mindset shifts.
Because that's what we do.
Come on now.
We use the manifest method, right? The manifest method framework to help individuals create and develop the type of relationship they want. We help you as an individual create and develop the type of relationship you want. Not the relationship that we have,
That's right.
not the relationship that we think you should have,
Correct.
but the type of relationship that you want. And you may ask, well, what's the manifest method? Well, I'm glad that you asked because that is the building blocks where we help people take their relationships off cruise control. Using the manifest framework, mindset, awareness, nurture, intention, focus, empower, strengthen, and transform. All right. So before we get into tonight's episode,
Yes.
we just want to make sure for those of you out there viewing for the first time, the 5th time, the 500th time, that you have gotten your copy of Manifest a Joy-Filled Relationship. And you may ask, what is Manifest a Joy-Filled Relationship? That is our Amazon bestseller.
Come on now.
All right. There you go. That is our Amazon bestseller, and you can go get your copy at our website, or you can go get your copy on Amazon. But Jason, tell them, where can they get our copy? Go to manifestajoyfillrelationship.com to get your copy.
Start transforming yourself and your relationship today. All right. We are here on a Friday. We are feeling good. It is quite good right today.
It is.
Uh-huh.
And it keeps going back and forth because, all right. So, Jason, let's get into tonight. Do we have any comments? Again, guys, don't forget, if you are out there watching via YouTube or Facebook, make sure that you drop your name or hit the like or the heart button so that we can shout you out. We can shout you out. Give me some things. We're going to shout you out tonight.
All right. We're going to have some fun tonight.
We got Jacqueline Trish Atkins in the building.
All right. Rev Jackie.
All right.
Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. We
I
know
don't see
you
no Rev up there. It say Jacqueline Trish Atkins.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Good golden evening to you, too.
All right. Good evening, Dot.
We have our wonderful regular.
Yes.
I think Dot may be taking the place of Regina and Dennis. I don't know.
Yeah,
Dennis,
I know.
where you at? Dennis, where you
I know,
at?
right? I know.
Hello, Dot. Good evening.
Good evening.
Jason
Good evening.
and Tina, listening from Calumet City, Illinois.
All right. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you so much.
Yes.
And then now we have Jackie Wiggins. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Jackie, how have you been?
Yes,
Good
yes.
to see you tuning in with us tonight.
We really appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
so
you guys.
much.
Thank you. So for everyone out there, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, make sure that Sandra Robinson. Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Sandra. How are you?
All right. So make sure whether you're watching the live or the replay that you drop your name so that we can shout you out.
Oh, just say hi. We just want to
Yeah.
know that you're in the house. Just say, hey, we appreciate you.
So I do want to send out, let's put that on there.
Yeah.
Dots heart. Let me get, Jackie says she is, I can't read it.
Wonderful.
I'm wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm
Good.
just glad to hear. We miss you guys. We miss you.
Go up to Dots hearts. Up. There you go. All right. Loving it, Dot. Loving it. And of course, the color of hearts green because that represents strength. The strength of a woman, of a wonderful woman. All right. And
Yeah.
Put
We love
Dot's-
you too. We love
put
you too,
Dot's thing up
Sandra.
there.
Yes.
Dot says, where are you, Dennis?
I know, right? I was thinking the
SOS.
same too.
All right. Sandra says, heart, did you do Sandra? I know
Yep,
you put
I
it up
got
there.
that.
All
Yep.
right. And then you got to move it off the thing. Thank you. Miss you all too. Thank you.
It's nice
Jackie.
that you guys are doing well.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate and love you. And tonight we want you to engage.
And share with a friend. So while you if you're coming in from Facebook, just put it out there. Share, like it, and share. We appreciate
at your friend's name so they can tune in.
Yep.
Also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you do the same thing. All right, guys. So we're going to get into tonight, and we just had a few things on our mind. Right, we're
Just a
talking about
couple.
the struggles of relationships, and what brought us to this is so many different things on so many different levels. Right.
Yeah.
The struggles every day.
Yep.
Every single day, there is some type of struggle in the area we're talking about of relationships, right? And what one of the biggest things this week that kind of made me think about this was something that someone said, and I kind of overheard it, and then I used it against them. But
Okay.
I heard someone was talking to someone on the phone, and they said, only you can turn that into something negative. And that statement right there brought so many things to mind when we're
rushing forward.
just rushing forward, because we talk about perception. We talk about how we view a thing, right? And if my response to something is always negative and the person doesn't always mean it that way,
right.
then do we get offensive by that person saying that? Right? Because it's our perception of whether to receive it negative or positive. So what do you
Right.
guys think? If you're talking to someone, anyone, you're talking to your spouse, you're talking to your coworker, you're talking to your boss, and every time you say, well, I wouldn't say every time, but lots of the time, majority of the time, when you say something,
Right.
it's interpreted as something negative. What are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts? Is it the person or is it you? Is it the miscommunication?
Well, it's
Because
about
I
how-
know what I thought, but I want to hear what you guys think about that particular incident.
I think that it's how they perceive it. For me, like if someone always sees something from we always talk about the glass half empty, half full. Either
Right.
way, it's water in the glass. So it doesn't really make a difference.
Don't
really.
spill it so it'll be empty.
Right. So
Okay. Okay.
you only got so much in there.
Mhm.
So either way, but it's all about how you actually look at it. I think. I think that's the case. I think but you can't. There's no. I don't want to say it's not a right and a wrong,
I don't think it's a right and a wrong, but
it's just their perception, right?
Mhm.
Because like I said, if I'm looking at the glass half empty,
Mhm.
then that's just how that's just how I see it. It's just not wrong. But I may say, man, what's wrong with you if you look at it half empty and I'm looking at it half full?
Okay, so guys, I want to hear. I really do want you to engage tonight. If you speak with someone, an individual, and then what you say majority of the time is being perceived from them as something negative, right? Like I may say to Jason, "Hey, can you get your shoes?" Oh, look who popped in. Can you get your shoes? And he perceives it as negative. Is it me? Is it what I'm saying? Is it a lack of communication, or is it the perception of the person? And what can we say about that perception? So I really want to know about you guys. So Dennis has popped in. Happy Friday, Jason and Tina.
All right.
I'm sorry, but home to be what? But
Have to catch the replay.
oh, all right. But you popped in. All
yeah,
right.
we do appreciate
Thanks
that.
to you two awesome people. I'm very busy lately. That's great. Because when you're not busy, that means you're not doing anything.
That's right.
At the Detroit Pistons game tonight.
All right.
Have fun. Enjoy.
Somebody got some money. You're hanging out with the Pistons now. All right. I see what you're
Dennis
doing.
said, enjoy everyone. He is in it to win it.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's
Dot said, you've been MIA, Dennis. So
That's
you got to
right.
make sure you get on back. They're like, you can't start something you're not going to willing to finish.
That's right.
But thank you for joining in. All right, so Dot says, what are your thoughts? What can, and I just want to know what's the first thing that come to mind. And
if
Jacqueline,
a person has a particular outlook on something.
if your mate, let's just say your mate,
Okay.
when you're
Mate.
communicating with your mate and everything that you say is kind of taken in a negative manner, tell me what comes to mind. And you say to this person, why is everything I say to you perceived in a negative manner? I want to know what are the thoughts to you. All right, let's go to our YouTube user.
Yep. I'm not sure who it is.
YouTube
It's a
user, happy Friday.
It says happy Friday, family. All right.
Yep, I can't really see the face, so it's either I'm not gonna call no names.
Don't call
Put
no
your
names.
name in there. Put your name in there. This is a little distance, and I don't have no glasses, so I'm gonna need you to put your name in there.
Okay. All right. Sandra said it depends on the tone.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you're just having a regular conversation, right? You just let's because from my eavesdropping, right? It was just a regular conversation,
Right.
and then the person said, and I don't want to use that person as an example,
All right,
but I do want.
But
so
people
if the-
have
Mhm.
people have this negative type of. I'm not saying that this person had a negative outlook. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is people have a negative outlook on things,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to put the comment up there. I'm going to need you guys to wear your glasses. This is the funny thing. If I wear my glasses,
it is Kesia.
it looked
Look
like
like
Kesia,
Kesia.
but I'm not sure because that's a
But
small
I do
picture.
need to have them on. But you got to have your name up there for me to really figure out who you are. But
It
I do
might-
appreciate
it
you.
might be Kesia and it might not.
Oh no, it's not. It is.
Come on.
God, you know what? Don't tell me. I'll figure it out. Hey, Mia. Leslie.
That's why I say it looked like Leslie too.
Yeah.
So you got to, because from this point of view,
Yeah, that
it
picture
looked like
that
it could
small,
be
I
either
can't
one of
see.
you guys,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
does look like Leslie.
Yep.
So Leslie, if it's you, thank you for joining us,
Yep.
and if it's Kesia,
And
thank you for joining us. But I think
I got it without glasses. I hope I got it right.
And the thing is, they're both sarcastic, so I don't know which one it is,
know,
right?
right? Either way, I feel like I got it right.
All right. So Mia dropped a thumbs up for her being in the house. Thank you so much, guys.
She's in the home.
She's in the home. So we want to. So as you ponder that, and I can't understand why Dot has not dropped some comments. Why Jacqueline Trish Atkins has not given us some answers, right? So we're asking if you are talking to your mate. Here's Dot. Let's throw it on up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time, Dot. I was gonna come out and get you. All right. So let's see. Dot says when a person is so negative, it's because they are not happy with themselves. So right. I agree. And sometimes we can't see that. So this is not me. So let's say go down.
Yep.
Go down one. Yep.
Hold on.
All right. Thank you.
Janae. All right. Thanks.
All
From Raise
right.
Up. Thank you very much. We
From
appreciate
Raise Up. Hey, y'all. It's from Raise Up.
See, we got new family.
So I think if I had to know, I think that was Kesia right there with them glasses.
Yeah, that's exactly who it is.
So go back up one to Kesia. Yep. So she says, Reverend Patty says, hi. Hey, Reverend Patty. So we're going to give a shout out because it must be Raise Up Barber Spa.
Barber Spa.
In the house.
That's
right.
right.
So you guys go visit. All right. Good. That's Dot's answer. Okay. That's that's right, Dot.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Kesia, how about you?
Mm-hmm.
I just think people have serious issues and they can't see beyond their issues. Good answer.
That is
All
a
of
good
them are
answer.
good answers.
So
And-
how do you? You know what?
and-
I just want to go a little deeper on that one. Then how do you move around that person? How do you interact?
Or, so Kesia said they can't see beyond their issues, right? Which
Right.
we're talking about tonight, struggles.
Right.
We're talking about why are we always trying to fix the effects, but we're never trying to fix the cause. So let's see what Dot says. All right. Yep, you get it. I avoid having a conversation because it can go.
Yep. It can go right there.
And so what we must understand, but we have to communicate with our mate, right?
Yep.
We have to. And so when we're communicating with our mate and our mate is in a position of seeing things from a negative stance, that creates some of the struggles that we don't necessarily have to go through because as the comments, as you said, right, it could be the perception, it could be the person can't get over their issues. And most of the time we can't see the issues that we're having that makes us see these things in a very negative light, whatever you're saying. All right.
That's right.
All right. So let's get on back into the topic. But I just wanted you guys to kind of think about that. And
But it's okay, right? And it's okay. Oh, she said thanks, Rev Jackie. Yep.
all right.
See, it's nothing but support here. I love it. It's nothing but support.
I don't know who Rev Jackie is because I saw Jacqueline Trish Atkins.
Well, see,
All right. So we're gonna get back into this conversation. Let me get back over here where we're supposed to be into this conversation. So we want you guys to just
no, I want to go ahead. I want to get into that because I want to
Okay.
kind of set the room with
okay.
being single, married, and all of that.
Okay. All right. So let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. My bad.
Yep, that's okay.
So
So you know what? This has been a thing, right?
Mhm.
So you know how we talked about that telephone call that Tina had. Now we had something else that came up.
it wasn't a telephone call. I was
Eavesdropping.
listening to somebody else's
Oh,
conversation.
you were
Right.
hustling a little bit there.
I was not hustling. I just happened to hear it. I just happened to be in a place where I
That
heard
sound
it,
like
and,
you're
and it
hustling.
was just like,
It wasn't the information wasn't for you.
but you know the awareness level that the person said, only you can turn that into something negative.
Okay.
It was the awareness of the person that said that which grabbed my attention.
Oh.
And but go
Okay.
ahead. All right, go ahead.
So here's the thing. So single. What does single mean? Because we've gotten into a conversation about what singleness means, right? So single means you are dating.
Mm-hmm.
Single means you are engaged.
Yep.
Single means
Mm-hmm.
you are not in a relationship. So you're not considered married, so you are indeed single. So
Mhm.
to go back, if you are dating, you are single.
If you are engaged, you are single. So we find that thin line when people say, well, I'm not single.
I'm seeing somebody.
Right. Or I'm dating. And so if you're not married, and it can be seen in many different ways, but for all intents purposes, when we say single or couples, we mean you. If you're not married, then you're single. That's what we mean. That's what and you can define it how you want, but for this show, we're just going to say, if we say single, you're included. If we say couples, you're included. All right?
Yep.
All right. So, and what about that?
No, that's it. Okay. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
So when we're talking about struggle, okay, we got another comment?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what this Jacqueline Trish Atkins has to say. We wait until they are not speaking in a negative way and then start a conversation. And to you, Tina Marie, it's It's Reverend Jackie.
Thank you, Reverend Jackie.
All right. So, and Reverend Jackie has spoken. And so, so if you and I, Reverend Jackie, are talking, or Jacqueline Trish Atkins, if you and I are having a conversation, and I find that every time you and I have a conversation, your response seems to think that my response or my reply is negative, even if you stop the conversation and you come back. And now I'm not talking about those people anymore that I was eavesdropping on. I'm just talking about in couples, right? If I'm talking with Jason and then he says something and I'm like, I didn't even mean that in a negative way. And then I leave and then we have another conversation a day later. And then his response is something negative. Somebody tell me what's going on there. Okay. So as again, we can, and I love those answers. And so I want to hear what other people perceive it to be. I want to hear what the collective consciousness of other people think that it is, right?
Yeah, there's no wrong answers.
Right. So when we're talking about this, I just want to know, did you know that 65% of divorces are attributed to poor communication? Right? Did we know that? Did we know that 65% of divorces are because of poor communication? It's not because of money. It's not because infidelity. It's not because of lack of intimacy. It's not because your relationship's on cruise control. That's more than 50% of divorces.
That is amazing.
People are getting divorced because of poor communication. And that's just a perfect example, right? I'm saying something to you to communicate, and your response to me is negative. What do we think the struggle is going to be? Then I'm going to respond. Most people you are going to respond not in a loving manner, but most of the time, 9 out of 10, you're going to respond in a negative manner. You're going to reciprocate the energy that was given to you. And so that's why I ask, what do you think's happening here? Is it poor communication? Is it a negative perspective of the issue of the person?
Right.
Is it a lack of being able to effectively communicate what you're saying? Is it tone? And so I just, we see things differently. So I really just want to know what you guys think.
That's interesting. I would have guessed, if someone gave me all those choices, I would have chose infidelity as being the number one reason for the number of
for divorces.
I would have. I would have put everything I had on that.
And that just says that marriages can survive, right? They can even thrive if we just learn how to effectively communicate. And that's one of the struggles that we're talking about, poor communication.
That's one of the main struggles. But you know what? That's because, most couples think communication is just talking. And we're always talking. But in reality...
Right, we're always talking something, right.
Right,
exactly.
We're always saying something. But in reality, it's about how we listen, interpret, and respond. That's the thing. And when we don't feel like we're heard, it builds resentment over time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I was listening to a book on Audible, and it said something to the effect of this. It said, communication is the one thing that most people thought took place. So thought took place, right? So after a conversation, we walk away and we think communication has taken place.
It has.
But communication means that you understood and I understood, and there was an understanding between what was the words that just transpired between us. And I thought that was so profound. Communication is the one thing that people think took place.
Yeah,
Right?
I got you. All right. I feel you on that one.
All right. So
Janae.
so is Jay, okay, we're going to say Janae. We're going to call you Janae. All right.
It is. Go ahead.
These all going to they're,
Yep. You're doing good, baby.
there
your thing.
could, let me see this. I'm going to pull this up real quick. And you guys just have to excuse me.
Mhm.
There could be the fact that they may be
Holding on to past hurts from their partners, says
Reverend Patty.
Oh,
Okay,
look at
hold
Reverend
on.
Patty coming through somebody
you
else.
know Reverend Patty. All right, there could be Pat. So she was up here.
Mm-hmm.
Could be, absolutely,
That is true.
absolutely, that is true. So
I mean,
let's go to the next message.
Go ahead.
I am irritated by you. That
Ooh.
could be the message.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I like that. I like that because that's very true. That's very real.
Exactly. And so you guys got to clip because I got to put it on another screen. Jacqueline Reverend Jackie says, it may be necessary to secure outside counseling if the negativity is constant in the communication. And I'm gonna come back to that response because I really want to get into that too. Let's see what they say. It could be a numerous of reasons why. 1, poor communication. 2, trying to find a reason to slip out. LOL.
Yeah,
Very
well, that's
good.
true.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. All right. Let's see what Janae says. She says,
It's Mia, AOL.
it's Mia. Hey, Mia.
I kind of figured it was Mia. I just assumed that.
It's the J-A. Okay, that part got me. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
hey, Mia. Either
Hey,
way.
Mia.
Yeah. The whole.
And I know that the middle name is Janae. So, hey, Mia.
Hey, thanks for chiming in.
That's right. So thank you guys. So I totally agree, but the reason why this is so important to me is because if we're dating
Mm-hmm.
and this is our pattern and it's not and it doesn't become an awareness that there's really an issue
Mm-hmm.
because the person, it could be all of those things, right? The person hasn't let go of past hurts.
A
The person they can't see past the issues of the past, or they're holding on to something.
Mhm.
But if we're dating, or even if we're married, and the other person doesn't see this, if they can't see that they're that everything that they said is received or perceived in a negative manner,
Mhm.
that brings up a very big struggle and a barrier. And then it becomes, how do I get you to see that? How do I seek counseling if I don't see a problem?
So what you're saying is the person don't even think that they're replying negatively. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So,
And so
I'm confused that you're saying that I'm replying negative. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Okay. I
Exactly.
got you.
Right. So when we're talking about poor communication, and we won't get into the texting culture, right?
Ooh.
So I half the time people are arguing over misinterpreted text messages. Divorces are happening because
You didn't text me
of
back by a certain period of time.
instead of actually talking, what we're doing is we're interpreting words that have no feeling, right? You look at a text message from someone, and it's the thought, it's the relationship, it's the interpretation of what has been going on and transpiring between you two that actually gives that message a meaning.
Yes.
Right? Again, it's my interpretation
Yep.
of what does this text say. So therefore, I get home or we get back together, and the first thing we're doing, I have created this whole narrative in my mind of what I'm going to say in responding to this text. Or I even say it on the text, right? I say something nasty and the other person is thinking, where did that come from? Right? So when we're talking about getting counseling or even getting help or even being aware of where we're missing the mark in communication, sometimes when we talk to couples, they think it's a cut dry,
Mm-hmm.
right? People talk about effective communication, but it's so much deeper than that. Effective communication, active listening, that's surface level stuff. We're talking about the deeper things, right? Tone, inflection, intention, perception.
Comprehension, right? So I can
Absolutely.
No matter what I say, it doesn't matter what you say. If I comprehend it a certain way, that's just how I'm going to receive it, no matter what, no matter how you say it.
Exactly. And so what happens because of that, now we're going to go into the next thing, then it causes, now that we're not communicating, now we're disconnected. And then we don't know how we got there. So now we're going to go into, let's see if I have some messages. Now we're talking about disconnection now.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You know, she
Oh,
said,
no.
hey.
It's like, oh, they know it's me now.
Yeah,
hey. All right. Let's see what Miss Jacqueline Trish Atkins says. What is your body saying?
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And my whole point is that as a mate, how do we communicate to our mate or our partner that this is something deeper? It's something deeper.
How do you get them to see that?
Right. So they may say, well, you said this and you said that, because the first response is, if I tell you, well, why are you responding negatively? Your first response to me is going to be negative and hostile because you don't believe
I feel like I'm not.
that you're being attacked.
Right.
You're like, well, what do you mean? You said something first. So first you have to defend your stance.
Correct.
And so if we're in a position of defense, how can we be in a position of being open to understanding that, well, maybe I was negative? And that's why I want to know, because for me, my first thought was, if you're perceiving things this negative, to that statement, right? If you're perceiving this as negative and it's not negative, are you seeing things most of the time from a negative lens? And it just took me into this conversation about struggles, poor communication, disconnection, how we get ourselves into these situations. But if we are aware, if we have the, I don't know if I want to use consciousness or awareness. If we have the awareness that there's something at play there,
right,
then we can try to diffuse it or get into it or have a conversation that kind of leads us into a openness of saying, hey, let's explore that.
right.
Hey, why is it that some of the things that I say are perceived negative? Is it me? Is it a feeling you have towards me? Or is it something that, because of your past, right? As Reverend Patty said, because of past hurts,
right,
you're holding on to something. Mm-hmm.
It made me think of something.
Mm-hmm.
Do they respond this way with everyone? Is their outlook like that with everyone,
That's
or
a
is it
good
just
question.
with you?
It's a good question, but it could, we're talking about relationships. It could just be you.
Right, because who you are is who you
or
are.
you're
going to show up just as you are.
And that's a very good question, because then there's a pattern, right?
Exactly.
If it shows up in other relationships and your response about what other people say is always in a negative manner, it's always somebody else. It's never you.
Mm-hmm.
We
Or if they tell you a story about a situation,
And
if it always comes from a negative angle,
yeah.
then it could just be that individual and not necessarily you. But it affects your relationship. Actually, it affects all the relationships that they're in. But you know it up close because it's intimate.
And so when we're talking about struggles, how does that play out in our relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about disconnect.
So, here's the thing. I want to say this before we move on to the, you gave a stat about the 65%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the other one. 1 in 4 couples, married couples, say that they felt lonely in their own relationship.
I think it's 1 in 4 in any couples.
Yeah.
Yeah, dating. Right.
I think
dating,
so.
Engaged.
That is true. Like
Right.
sometimes you're in a relationship with someone
Right.
and you just feel lonely.
Exactly.
And I said, and we were speaking with someone earlier, and I said, you did not get into a relationship to be alone, to be unhappy,
Absolutely.
to feel unsafe. You just didn't.
Wow. Let's just think about that. 1 in 4. 1 in 4 people who are in relationships, they feel lonely. And that's because of that emotional disconnect, right? We talked about emotional disconnection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about that is that it doesn't happen overnight. But if we're not aware, this is what transpires, right? It happens in little moments of not communicating,
Come on.
not having intimacy, not having appreciation for your partner, not understanding their strengths, their weaknesses, and or even just appreciating the person that they are. Right. And so the reason why we get disconnected is because most of the time it's because of distractions. And oftentimes our response, as we said, come from a place of past hurts or the distractions of the routine, the practice of our kids, our job, our work, our outside commitments. So then when it comes to having these conversations, we just don't have time for them. Our patience and tolerance is like, what do you want?
Yep.
Or we're holding in so much because we have so many places to be and so many things to do that the first person we take it out on is the person who's closest to us, which oftentimes is our mate. And so our response can be negative,
Yeah.
even though they meant it in a positive way, or
Oh,
even just in general.
that's deep. It's negative, even though we meant it in a positive way.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Hey,
like,
what's for dinner? I don't know. What did you right? I don't know. What did you cook? So
hey, that's been a conversation with many people. I mean, like I know
Yeah.
as we've talked to many couples. I mean, it's the slightest little thing. Hey, you know, would you stop off and pick this off? Did you do this? Or did you do that? Why are you questioning me? Why is this? And it
Yeah.
just takes you down this road. And it's like, it was just a question. Just answer the question and move on. But, you know, here's the thing, too. You know, singles feel it as well as, you know, married couples. Singles, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to
And
be
you
married
know-
to feel the same thing.
And you know what they do? They just jump from relationship to relationship, trying to get that closeness that they've never, you know, that they've never gotten. So they think that, okay, this relationship
I
doesn't
didn't have emotional connection with this person.
I'm gonna go to the next.
I'm going to dump this one
Yeah.
and go to a next relationship. Okay, this isn't working. We're not connecting. We're not communicating. I'm going to leave this one, and eventually I'm going to find that deep connection, right? And everything's going to be great,
No, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay,
Nice try,
so
but
that's
that's
what-
not gonna happen.
Right.
Right.
And, which brings us to our next point, which is talking about, right, fantasy versus reality.
Ooh.
The fantasy of love versus the reality of love,
Ah,
right?
It is so nice to be in love.
If you in love, right? So social media, right, and our wonderful Hollywood movies
Yep.
have ruined people's perspective and ideas of love. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Right?
You know that happily ever after stuff.
That happily ever after.
I knew it. I
You're
knew
going to find that soulmate and everything is just going to fall in place. So these are things that we want you to think about when we're talking about the struggles. We often look at the effect. We look at the arguing. We look at the disconnect. We look at the fantasy, the unrealistic expectations, but we never take time to say, where are they coming from? What are the causes of us arguing? What are the causes of our disconnect? What are the causes of the reason why we can't effectively communicate? And then let's go down that path instead of the path of, hey, we got a problem, right? Get some more comments?
I do.
Yep, you're going to have to pull it up big.
Okay.
Narcissistic personality.
Being mean
To
to break their partner down to control them and the relationship for sure.
absolutely.
You know, we had
Absolutely.
we had a conversation with
I don't know.
somebody just earlier. I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but it is just that people, they know the buttons to push, right? They know how to hurt you if you let them in. But here's the thing: you have to stay in control of you. I know we want to give a lot to our relationship. We want to give a lot to our kids and our family and all those other things. But there comes a time when you have to safeguard your energy,
Right. All right.
and when you don't,
Mhm.
then you feel like a person has control over you in the situation.
And I know she brought up narcissistic behavior, right?
Mhm.
Or personality.
Yep.
We had a whole conversation on
Last
that.
week,
That
yep.
was last Friday. We had a therapist on, Carla Lido, and she talked about narcissistic behaviors and tendencies, and what to look for and how to deal with them and how to, work through them or whatever. So if you guys haven't seen that episode, go back and watch it. She is a family and marriage and family therapist.
Yeah, it was real
it's
good
a-
information, and it was very enlightening. It's funny because I had a conversation with someone after the show, and it was like, well, maybe I have tendencies of a narcissistic tendencies.
right.
I'm like, maybe.
And as she said, we all have them.
Right.
We all have narcissistic tendencies. YouTube user Kesia said, "I did. It was good.
It
Thank
was,
you."
wasn't it? It was very
And
enlightening.
if it's nothing else, it gives us an ability to see things that maybe we can prevent in our
Mhm.
relationships, or we know how to navigate it if we have a partner like that. We're in a relationship like that. So it gives us the wherewithal of being able to know what's going on and how to navigate that space. And sometimes the best thing is to know what are your negotiables and what are your non-negotiables. That's what I would say to that. So if you guys haven't seen that episode, make sure that you go back
Yes.
and listen to it and look at and find out what are we looking for in narcissistic behavior, right? What does that mean? What does that mean to us? What does that mean to our relationships? All right. So we were talking about social media and Hollywood, and thanks to Disney, right?
Disney has set us up, right?
Disney has set us up. And I remember early in the early in our podcast when we would have guests on, and I have stopped asking this question. I used to ask married couples when they came on, is marriage what you thought it was going to be? Right? The idea that you had in your mind, is it what you thought it was going to be? So when we talk about
marriage,
fantasy,
it's even like our relationship. You get into the relationship, even before you get to the marriage. It started out one way, and then after a while, it's like, this is not what I envisioned. I didn't want my relationship to end up here. But you stay or whatever, like in hopes that it'll get better over time. But a lot of times we in these go nowhere type of relationships, thinking that it's gonna go somewhere, which it's already proven that it's not.
Or not aligning what we really want with what we really have. That's the fantasy part. That's the making ourselves believe that it's something different. So when we talk to people or we do these studies, we realize that 73% of people believe that, when I find that person, when I find my soulmate, when I find that one, that is going to be effortless, that everything is just going to align. They're not going to be narcissistic. They're not going to be controlling. We're not going to argue, but the reality is that love requires effort. It requires you to grow, and it requires you to work at it. And so people say, well, marriage is work. So we have to understand everything is work.
Yep.
Everything is work. If you're living, that's work. You have to get up. You have to take care of yourself. You have to maintain your body. You have to maintain your health. You have to prepare your food. You have to eat the right foods. And right now that was really hard to navigate because they say don't eat anything. So every time they say something is healthy, they turn around and say it's not healthy. So when we're talking about 73% of people, almost 100% of people think that, I'm looking for my soulmate, and then I'm not going to have to, it's going to be just cruising on down love lane after that, right? But we have to realize that it takes effort. It takes intention. It takes growth. It takes for us to be able to know what it is we want in a relationship and to be aware when there's something wrong and how to fix it.
Now, if you're in that 73%, and probably majority of us have been in that 73%, I want you to realize that this isn't the movies. I just, you got to be honest. I mean, like, you'll find the person that you are. That's what you're going to find, regardless of the soulmate. If your soul is crying out, this person's going to show up. And that's who you're going to be with.
It's not going to be a happily ever after.
No, especially if your soul is not crying out for happily ever after.
So when we're talking about these struggles that we have in our relationships, we're not looking at the effects. What the whole point of this is getting us to think about what are the causes of those things, the stuff that we don't talk about, but we should. We need to go deeper. Often, whenever I do a survey or ask people questions, it's always that first answer is usually surface level. That second answer is just a little, maybe still surface level, but a little bit deeper. But then I ask them, think about it. Think about what I'm asking you. Think about the question, and then go deeper, right? Reverend Jackie always talk about when we're mining for our goal, you have to dig deep. Why do we have to dig deep? Because we handle problems at surface level when it's like an iceberg. It's not what you see at the top.
Right.
It's what's down there. What are the roots? What's causing this? What's going on in my soul? What's in my subconscious? What's in my experiences? What is in my family life? Where did I get this from? Who did I hear it from? How? What am I picking up from the collective consciousness of what I'm hearing on television? What I'm getting bad relationship advice when I'm listening to the radio, when I'm looking at social media. That's that deeper level. What am I allowing to get into my consciousness and then get into my subconscious that's playing out in my life? This is why I'm asking, what's really going on there, right? We can speculate a lot of things, but if we don't take the time to, one, recognize it and ask our partners, what's really going on? And then even ourselves, what's really going on? Why do I perceive things in a negative way? So what's beneath the surface is what I always ask.
An iceberg, baby. Don't you know that?
All right. Dennis is still happy Friday, checking in during the break.
All
Hey,
right.
Dennis.
All right.
Dennis, we're talking about going deep. So I don't know if you want to go back and read the comments. My question to you is what we posed to everyone was that if what you say to someone is always perceived in a negative manner, what's really going on? What is the first thing you think about? So if you and your partner are having conversations, and Dennis, I guess right now you're in the honeymoon phase, so we might want to think about an old previous relationship. So if you and your partner you're expressing your feelings to this person, or you're just having a conversation and everything is perceived as negative, what are your thoughts behind it? So I want to know what you think is going on. And then we have Deborah.
Hey, Deborah. Welcome to the show.
I feel like you are singing my song and telling my story. Come on, girl.
Come on.
All right. So
it's no accident why you're here. Come on.
All right. So Darlene is checking in. Thank you, Darlene. Hey, family. I'm gonna bring this up.
She need this. I will be ready for my next relationship. Exactly.
And that's what we have to do.
We have to do the work to get ready for our next relationship, because if we take a serious look at what happened with our past relationship, I mean, deep look into what actually transpired in that relationship. What part I played.
Just look at you. Just look at you. I know
what
Dennis.
Part I played.
Dennis, I know when I came back from the women's conference the year before last with Reverend Jackie, I was introduced to the book, Mirror Work Works. And so we told Dennis to go do some mirror work, and it's there. It's there in the deepness of healing that you're actually able, once you do some mirror work, then you're actually to dig a little deeper and forgive the people, the situations, and yourself. Right? It's in those quiet moments. And so oftentimes we're so busy listening to the rhetoric of the world that we don't even take the time to figure out what's really happening, right? And where the true magic can begin in our lives.
That's true. You're right, baby. You know what? You 100% right. But you know what? I got another study for you.
What you got?
Oh, now this is something. This kind of reminds me of something that Reverend Patty said.
Okay.
90% of how we react in our relationships comes from our past experiences.
Absolutely.
That's childhood, past relationships, and even trauma. And oh man, trauma, that's a whole different scenario. That's a whole different podcast in itself. But just think about that. 90% of how we react in our current relationships comes from our past experience, childhood, past relationships, and even trauma. And I know a lot of us are being led by our trauma. We're making all our decisions based on trauma.
This happened to me. So, and you know, last week in the episode, we were talking about people going, when they've had an experience, they try to self-correct it by going so far left or so far right? This is what happened to me here, so I'm not going to let this ever happen to me again. So I'm going to make sure by going so far over here that they're not realizing that there has to be a balance, right? And so most people think that their bad relationships are just about the other person. It's the trauma I experienced. Right. It wasn't my fault.
They did this. This is why I felt.
But even in them trying to go so far left, sometimes we fall into the habit of repeating old patterns, right? That we haven't taken the time to heal from. And so we need you to make sure that in the process of that when you're digging deep, we're not looking at the effects. We're looking at the causes. And then the causes, why, and then understanding how do we need to navigate. And that's a personal thing, whether it's self-help, self-development, counseling, religion, whatever it is for you. But the first thing is to be able to stop repeating the patterns of your past.
Wow. That's the thing right there. Stop repeating the patterns of your past, or your future will look just like your past.
Right. Yep. So, and part of that is that I've gotten hurt, so now I can't be vulnerable. I don't want to be hurt again. I'm going to avoid how I gave so much last time, so now I'm going to build a brick wall. I was hurt, And so now I'm not going to love as much. And so what we realize is that it's not hurting anybody but ourselves. Because if we're constantly seeking fulfillment, we can't get it if we aren't fulfilled on the inside. If we're going into relationships holding back already, or we're in the relationship holding back. So when we're talking about past hurts, it's the past hurts that come from your relationship, right? If Jason and I have past hurts that we haven't dealt with, and most people think, oh, we'll just brush it up under the rug. It doesn't work like that. It's showing up all over. But if you're not recognizing the signs, then you can't be aware that they need to be fixed, right? Or we're just avoiding them.
Yeah, right. Because it's like, you know people.
They don't go away.
Yeah, right. And you know people, you go, boy, they can't be happy at home. Because if they did, they wouldn't act like this in public or at work or in social settings, right? You can tell when a person isn't really happy. So, yeah. But you know what? We all want deep love, right? That's the whole thing. You know, you're in these relationships and you want this deep love. But when it comes down to it, you know, being truly open, honest, and vulnerable. And then that's when you want that, but you can't get over the hump because fear kicks in and it keeps you stagnant right where you're at. So if you want to express deep love and you want to have it, you have to fight through the fear of being truly open.
And risking the point of being rejected. Most people say, well, I was rejected, so I'm not going to try it again. Or being disappointed. Or being, having pain again. And what that does is not a bad thing, right? We're talking about perception. How do you see it? It's not a bad thing. It's for you understanding the challenge comes to let you know or see where there's patterns, where there's issues, right? If you are preventing yourself from being vulnerable or never being rejected again, you're limiting yourself. And love is about no limits. That's what we want to experience, right? So we have some other comments?
We do.
All right. We have it now from Gold Rush Women's Conference. You got to bring this up for me.
I got you. Disneyland thinking is why premarital counseling should be mandatory.
Yes.
To put a relationship in a
realistic mode.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Right.
And oftentimes we don't even know this. And so if we don't have these conversations that we're having right now, people get into marriages and relationships thinking Disneyland. Yep. That's truly what they think. They think, I've read the book on love languages. Yeah. I've listened to social media. I've read the latest Crave book, even though I haven't even seen if the author has a valid relationship, right? So it gets on TikTok, it goes viral, and we buy it because everybody says buy it. Right. And so we read it. Now we're reading the consciousness of someone who we don't even know. We don't even have validation. We don't even look them up to see, hey, are they married?
But they're telling us
have they
all
been
these things
married?
That's wrong with me.
This is it. So I'm going to listen to someone, and I'm going to read, and I'm going to believe. I don't know if this person is sitting in an alley or if this person has ever had a good relationship or if they are experiencing. We show by our manifestations, right? That's our book. Manifest. If I'm not manifesting a joy-filled relationship, or if I haven't manifested the things that I'm telling you in this book, but we're going to buy a book that we have no idea if the words in this book ring true for the person or the author who wrote it.
Well,
right?
Well, we may not.
Right,
but but it's speaking to drama sometime too, because it tells me all of the negative things that this is what it is. I have an attachment. I have this. I have a dependency on this. I have all of these different
Good point.
things.
We have drama and we want titles.
Right.
We want titles for what's going on. Well, they said that I have this, and this. I have as my minister would say, the bonkers and the conkers. And so I believe it because now you've given me something to attach to instead of us realizing, hey, that's just an effect.
Yeah.
What's the real cause? Why do you feel the way you feel? And how do you stop feeling that way? Because we can move through an experience or a title or drama.
Yep.
We were on a podcast earlier and the host asked us, why is there so much bad relationship advice out there on social media and people actually listen to it? Right? And so, again, with this, we tell you what type of relationship do you want. We're not telling you what type of relationship to have, but we're trying to equip you with the tools to do the self-work to get you to where you can attract and have a good relationship. But if we are drama driven, if we need chaos, if we need controversy, if we need to be right, if we need our ego to always be right, then do we want to be right or do we want to have a good relationship? So there's so many different things that I can talk on that, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. But it was a good conversation about the information that you get from online and social media. My biggest, I have.
We're not even questioning because
right, but
we
I'm
can
just
relate.
saying, I got one gripe about it because I see people very successful online that's single, that's telling people how to have that perfect marriage. I'm not saying that you can't do that. I'm just saying it's
unrealistic sometimes.
To me, it's difficult because I couldn't express how it is to be married. I mean, you're right. If I wasn't, like, it's hard for me to fathom being single. I haven't been single in so long. It took me forever to try to get back to that point, that mindset and everything. But if you want to talk about a relationship and the things that you need to get over, I'm your man. I can talk to you about that. I understand that this is not just all about theories. You have to go through something in order to be able to effectively communicate what it takes to get through it.
And so let's put that in perspective. Someone may say, well, I don't need to have a healthy marriage or relationship to know what it takes to have one. And what we say is that we beg to differ. It's just like someone said, well, are you telling me that I have to have, I can't be a brain surgeon operating on a tumor if I've never had a tumor? Well, the thing is that first you get the book sense, then you get the experience of how to operate. Totally different situation. You don't have to have a tumor, but you would have to have the experience of how to surgically remove that tumor, right? So you're gonna have to have some type of experience. And that's what we're saying. Theory is one thing. People can say, well, in order to have a successful relationship, you have to XYZ. We agree with that. But where is your experience? Because XYZ doesn't happen when you don't know what's on the other side of that, right? So that's how we're saying that if you're going to take somebody's wholehearted word for it, there has to be some basis of experience, and then there has to be some basis of tools and techniques, not just verbal. Hey, do this. It has to be something that you can substantially see and feel and touch and experience your way, not their way. Because as we always say, there's no one size fits all.
Nope.
No two marriages are the same. No two people are the same. And so I can give you my idea of how to fix it, but you have to figure out, how do I do the self-work to get to that point? So I can tell you, ignore your mate. And you go, okay, well, somebody told me to just choose my battles. Well, guess what? If your first mindset is that it's a battle, you've already lost. So our philosophy is that if you are in a win-lose mindset, the relationship loses.
Yep.
But if your perspective is that it's a win-win, that, again, the problem isn't between us, the problem is in front of us, it's both of our problem. Let me know what you think about how we should fix it and how I should fix it. And let's come up to, let's collaborate. Let's agree. Let's kind of look at things from a different perspective. Then we can collectively tackle the problem. Then it's a win-win. You don't feel like I didn't respect your opinion. I don't feel like you didn't respect my opinion. And then we've solved the issue where both of us, our relationship is still intact. The integrity and the foundation of our relationship is still there. Whether then, hey, I won. I showed him. I showed her.
Yep.
All right, let's get our comments.
Yep.
I think Dot.
Nope, I'm good, baby.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You want to bring it up because I don't know why. It's probably this eyeshadow, and
So-
I've been up since 4. All right, guys, we're going to get this one in. So let's understand when we're navigating this relationship, and it's never too late to get into a new relationship. People say, well, this has nothing to do with me. Guess what? If that person shows up and then you find yourself repeating the same pattern as the old people, then this is for you.
You had a chance to get yourself together. You had a chance.
Who you are and what you have.
Manifested is why your book is so good and useful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Gold Rush Women's Conference. All right, let's see what Dot says. Yep, I'm going to need it big, and you guys going to have to work with us. It says, how can a person help someone that is married and they haven't experienced marriage?
Hey, you know what?
And you know what? There's therapists out there that has said that. So you going to tell me I can't help somebody who's married because I don't have a successful marriage? I've been married, and it didn't work. So I know. You know what? You know how to make my marriage successful, but you couldn't make your own marriage successful? I'm just curious. I'm asking for a friend. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. All right, let's go to Dennis. What did Dot say? Dennis say about Dot. Dot, he said, out of the Detroit Pistons game, I'm enjoying getting to know myself again first. Amen. Date yourself, Dennis. Take your time.
It's been hey, listen, Dennis has come full circle. It's been a journey.
But I'll say that to say this. We also say, take the time. When we ask people, what do you want in a relationship? They usually can't answer that question.
Right.
They know what society says they should want. They know what they think they want. But when you ask them, well, I want to be happy. What is happiness?
Yeah, because happiness to me may be different.
Does happiness mean it's okay for your partner to leave their socks all over the floor and that you're okay with it? Does happiness mean
that's not pointed at me, is it?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
No pun intended.
Okay, good.
All right. Does happiness mean that you go out to Detroit Piston game and I get upset? Does happiness mean that I find somebody who loves to ride motorcycles, but then later in the relationship it's a bother for me, right? Ooh. So good point. Take the time to get to know yourself. And then Dot says this back to you, Dennis. I don't know what it says.
It says enjoy, I believe.
Okay, because
yep. It says just that. Enjoy.
Okay. Enjoy, Dennis. And then our YouTube Kesia said, I know what I want. Tell us, Kesia, what do you want? If you knew what you want, you would have it. But the question is, if you know what you want, are you the equivalent of what you want?
Ooh.
I'm not saying that. I'm just presenting that. Right. It's not for you.
It's for your friend.
We have to make sure that if we know what we want, we are the equivalent, or we are what we are seeking, right? You already have what you're seeking, but the person and what you want, if we have to ask, because we attract who we are, we don't attract what we want.
Okay.
And so I'm just make sure so when I see that person, Kesia, I'm a know that, hey, that's what Kesia wanted because she is that person. Absolutely. Oh, I'm going to get to, okay. So Dot said, you have to be happy with yourself first all the time. Okay. You can't come and try to make me happy if you're going to fail miserably. And then Kesia said, absolutely. I know you do, girl. I know you do, because you are part of the Gold Rush Women's Conference as well as Raise Up Barber Spa. And we are, what did you call it? We are fantastic women, and we know what we want. Yeah, we know what we want. We don't just attract no junk. So, guys, we're just going to end you in on that note. Let's make sure that we get all of our pub that we always do. So
we want to thank everybody for chiming in. I really enjoyed the conversation. It's nice. Because we need to know how you feel, what you're thinking, because there's a lot of interesting conversations that we have throughout the week. And people have some really different views about the state of their relationship,
or what they hear, and then they haven't experienced it. They just heard it. It's knowledge. It's book sense, and they haven't applied it in a real relationship. But then they want to regurgitate.
Yeah, I was reading a book, and the person went to a therapist, and the therapist told her how to handle her husband, and it made the woman's relationship worse. And she just kept going, and she went for maybe 6 months, and everything that she was telling her was really harming her relationship. So one day she happened to see the therapist and her mate at an event, and then when she saw how they interacted and how she put her husband down in public and made him feel, actually embarrassed him and made him feel like he was less than a man, she understood at that point
why she gave that advice.
So
we have to be careful. All we're saying with that, guys, is that be careful who you're getting advice from.
Yeah.
Make sure that if you
It's
are
doing some good.
if you are reading a book and you're taking this as the whole heart, honest to God Bible of truth of relationships, let's do some research on the author. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you can do that, or you know what? You just have to read it with some discernment, right? You can take it, and also again, it's your comprehension. It's how you comprehend.
That's true. That's true.
So we can read.
I wouldn't say comprehension. I'd say level of consciousness.
Well,
your
level of
awareness
competence
and your
as well,
understanding.
but you're reading, so you
Yep.
have to be able to comprehend it, and you comprehend it by your level of consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just have to. It's a lot to go along. You just can't read it and just take it. Oh, it says this, and
It's 7:05.
I said, don't tell me about the time, baby. No, don't tell me about the time.
All right. I'm not gonna tell. All right.
Uh,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying about the as we talking about the comprehension, and then it's about. Now I lost my train of thought.
Oh, that train took off.
It did take off. I'm gonna sit here on the stand, and I'll wait for it to come back around. It'll come back around.
All right.
Yeah, I'll wait for the
So
next
as he's
one.
waiting for the next train to come, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that Jason and I are trained and certified life and relationship coaches. We have more than three. We have 33 years of experience.
Mhm.
Actually, more than that, because if we count the years that we were friends and then the years that we dated, it's more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know how it adds up to so many years when I'm not even that old, but it does.
I
The
don't know.
math ain't mathing. I don't know. But the point of why we do this is because we want to help you win at your relationship. We want to help you win at your life. We want you to have your intimate, your social, your business, any relationship.
Any.
The relationship with the young lady in the grocery store that has an attitude because her boyfriend just left and he took her money. Whatever it is, we want you to be able to navigate these relationships in a way that you stay in control of you, that you can understand what is going on. So we take you as a client or as a person or as an individual, we take you on a journey using our manifest method, right? And tell them what the manifest method is while you're waiting on that train. So
it's manifest, and it's an 8-part framework that we use, and it is mindset, awareness, nurturing, intention, focus, empowerment, strengthen, and then transformation. At that point, then you're going to transform. So it's an 8-part framework that we work to go from getting your mind right to transforming your life. And we deal with everything in between. So when someone says that you can make your relationship better in 30 days or in 2 weeks and all these different things, it's a lot to go along with that. Can it happen? It can make a difference. But you got to do a lot of mindset work. You got to do a lot of consciousness work. You got to do a lot of self-reflecting. It's a lot to go along with that. It is not easy. Change isn't easy because every time you go to change, the old habits come back and says, no, we're not doing that. We don't want to change. We want to be comfortable. So it's a lot, you know.
So we have to change the things that we've been taught or conditioned and then transform into something new. We have to become like a butterfly.
Yep.
We can't stay the same. And that's what people want. They want the relationship, but they want to stay the same. We have to understand that the transformation has to take place within us, and our relationship will transform as well. So we oftentimes when we're dealing with couples, they don't understand that I just want things to be better. So we just thank you guys as we wrap up this episode. We just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. If you don't have a copy of our book, we say go get it. If you do have a copy of our book, we say thank you. We appreciate you. Please share it, share the knowledge, share the information, and make sure that you're reading it so that you can get the information. And so as we are chiming off, we see people just now coming in. So we are going to try to get everyone. Now,
All right.
I think it was
Nancy said, hey.
Nancy Smith is in the house. She said, hey.
All right.
All right. What did I have a blessed evening and weekend, everyone?
Yes, everyone.
All right,
please
let's
do.
keep going.
Yeah,
All right.
I got you.
All right. Kelly says,
Hey,
thank
Kelly,
you for
how are
yet
you?
another enlightening conversation.
Thank you for joining. We really
Yes,
appreciate you.
Kelly.
And I know you've been doing a lot of work too, Kelly.
There you go.
You keep that up.
Yes. All right. Let's go to the next one.
I
And
sure will.
Darlene says, you all are really good together. I will wait for what you guys have. Thank you. And you don't want what we got. You want better. You want what
Yeah.
Darlene wants. That's right. But
Yeah.
thank you, Darlene. We
Yep.
appreciate you. We love
sure
you.
do.
We love all of you. Thank you, Reverend Jackie or Jacqueline Trish Atkins. Thank you for Sandra. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in. Thank you
Okay,
for
I'll
your
get you
thoughts.
that. Let
We
you go ahead.
also,
There you go.
Deborah, thank you, Mia. Oh, Awilda's tuning in. Thank you, Awilda. Sandra, we thank all of you.
Yep.
Um,
And you know what? Tell tell your family and friends, because I'll say this. Because of the conversations that we're having offline.
I was thinking the names. Jackie,
Okay.
trying to just get everybody.
Yep. Because of the conversations we're having outside of the podcast here, people are struggling with many different things. And a lot of it is self-esteem that's going on in relationships. So if you find someone that's coming to you about a relationship issue or anything like that, bring them over to the podcast. Let us have a conversation about it.
Send them over here.
They don't have to get super personal about it, but we're just gonna stoke their mind a little bit to make them, think
realize
a
their
little different.
self-worth.
Right.
You
are a powerhouse.
Yes.
And you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be safe, and you deserve to be loved
happy and joyous
the way that you want to be loved. And sometimes we don't know what that's like. A lot of us haven't been around positive relationships.
All right. So the other thing is, what I was going to say is, last week, for some reason, some of the names didn't come through. So I do want to say thank you, Bobby Moore, for tuning in last Friday. Thank you so much. So we shouted you out. I don't know if you guys got a chance to jump on this week, but we do say thank you. So thank you, everybody. That wraps up another episode. Make sure you go to the website, legendaryrelationship.com, and check out some of the free resources. You can get our book. You can also get the masterclass that's helping you to navigate this space of relationships, whether that we have one that's for if you're looking to attract that relationship, and we have one for couples who are looking to reestablish boundaries, reestablish intimacy, understanding what's really going on in the dynamics of our relationship. So if you guys want to reach us, you can always find us at info@legendaryrelationship.com. We're on all social media platforms at Legendary Relationship. Is there anything else I missed, honey?
Nope, there you go. But you can read Kesia's...
We all say thanks for the great advice. You are welcome. Thank you, Reverend Patty. Thank you, Mia, and the other Mia. Thank all the Mias. All right. Thank you, all the Darlene's.
Thank you,
all
Raise
the
Up
Dots. Thank you, guys.
Spa. Thank you. We appreciate you.
For you guys out there, go check out Raise Out Barber Spa.
Oh, yeah.
A free pub. Hey, for all of you. Hey, we also have the Gold Rush Women's Conference coming up next month, which I am a workshop facilitator. So make sure that you go check out the Gold Rush Women's Conference. It says, know your greatness, show your greatness. That's what we're talking about. April 24th through the 26th. She has a full Thursday, Friday, Saturday package, or you can do day packages. Hey, go check us out. Don't miss it. Be in the building. If you have some work to do, let's start there. All right? So we love you. We appreciate you. And as always...
Hold up, baby cakes.
Oh, Tina be talking too fast.
Yeah, you do. But
did Dot say something?
No,
I think
she didn't.
All right.
She might have added
She probably, it was probably emoji. And for some reason, it doesn't show up right here. So we love you too, Dot. That's probably the heart emoji, right?
So we just ask that you share. Also, make sure that you join the YouTube channel. Please go over there and subscribe.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. So, guys, if you are following us on Facebook but not on YouTube, go to YouTube. And when you go there, look up our channel at Legendary Relationship and hit the subscribe button. And then there's another button that says, do you want to be notified? I don't know. It did on mine, but I don't know if it will on yours.
It does.
Make sure you click that so that you can be notified of anything and everything that we have going on, and definitely our lives. We ready to get out of here now?
I feel like you're putting a rush act on
I am, because it said it was 80 when we got on today. And now
you missed that warm weather, baby. It's over with.
All right. So I was also going to try to get out there with Kicking It with Kendra, because that's my girl. She's out there.
Trying to go out tonight.
Shout out to Kicking It with Kendra. That's what we do. We go out and jump double dutch because we can still do it. There was a shout out from somebody. It was an older woman's birthday. I think it said she was 89.
And she jumping
rope?
And
she was jumping down. I believe it said
You know what?
I'll
go
Come on now. Come on. Let's give me something. Let's clap it up for, I don't know what the young lady's name was, but happy birthday to her. And she was 89 out there jumping double dutch. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
That is impressive.
Yeah. So shout out to all the wonderful people who keep themselves healthy.
Yep.
So get back, baby.
Uh-huh.
And as always, we are in it.
Nope. We are not.
Don't forget, we are the Love and Beyond the I Do podcast. So we're going to love beyond the I Do. All right. So as always, we're in it to win it. Happy Friday, guys. We love you.
Till next week, guys. Love you. Appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Lovin' Beyond the I Do podcast. Head over to iTunes to subscribe and leave a review. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Legendary Relationship, or visit our website at legendaryrelationship.com. Till next time, remember to make every day count.